welcome everyone on Speedgaming 3. This is your boy LV Creed here, bringing to you a Group D race between MagnetFirstBro and poisoncurls. It should be a pretty tight one. Of course, both our runners already have their destiny set. poisoncurls is at 0-2. Unfortunately, he's unable to have a chance to make it to the bracket phase. But he still has a chance to pretty much get a little bit of pride points trying to defeat MagnetFirstBro, who is currently undefeated and now has his ticket set towards the bracket phase out of Group D. So, of course, this is your boy LV Creed, bringing to you this randomizer, Mega Man 2 randomizer tournament race for Speedgaming Live 2023. We're hoping for a very good race between our two racers. The countdown is going down right now, and we should be good to go in a moment, barring stream delays. Of course, for those that aren't familiar with the current tournament setup that we have for this tournament, this is any % easy mode run, zipless, so no zips are allowed, and it will be with revealed stage names. So while the stage select is shuffled, you will be able to see where everyone is, and don't worry about any desync on the streams. Hopefully that will be fixed, but even if it won't, we do have race time going on, so we will keep track of our runners as the race progresses. So right now we got MagnetFirstBro, our Chinese runner, who has been pretty dominant in this group, going to Airman, a very unusual start. We normally see people do this much later, especially with items, because this is a very dangerous stage, potentially, but seem to be very kind in the early goings. So for right now, we see if this unusual routing will be beneficial for MagnetFirstBro, see if he can sneak in an early item. Meanwhile, poisoncurls is going to one of our usual suspect stages in Flash, where you can easily get an E-Tank along the way. Get a little bit beaten up by our monkeys here, but able to safely get our E-Tank thanks to some pause buffer, some pause canceling, which is one of our newest program features, which will help amongst a lot of things. And we have a Woodman sign in Airman's room, and Airman has pretty much shifted gears and put in residence in Flashman's room. It's both South Weak Air, a little bit more durable on air. We got item 2 on the Flash on the Airman fight. So and unfortunately, it looks like we got him. Let's see. Ooh, item 1. So the gamble to air early pays off in a pretty interesting way. So we got MagnetFirst finally going to one of our starter stages in Flash. Meanwhile, poisoncurls is going straight into Quick. As you will probably, as for those that probably has been seeing randomizer races in the past or even currently right now, poisoncurls is basically doing our usual starting routes, doing Quick and Flash early. Unfortunately, Quick is pretty beefed up security with all sorts of Joes, and the Joes are very durable. Health being randomized for each and every enemy. Anything that's overly durable, and in this case, if there are Joes, it's a pretty annoying scene that's potentially going to be seen. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst is pretty much doing a pretty clean route to Flash. poisoncurls safely surviving. Quickman stage should be going to that room at any moment. We know that Airman is in Flash Room, but we're about to get some new information for Quick Man. Let's see who's in Quick's room. Oh, we got a Vanilla Quick sighting. And a pretty durable Quick at that. poisoncurls is looking for a weakness that got one very easily in Bubble. So we know that in Flash we had item 2. So MagnetFirst already has a very good start with both items completely in tow. Meanwhile, both our runners are going to Woodman, so both our runners are pretty even right now. poisoncurls look like he has a little bit of an advantage, but a very small one. As MagnetFirst is right on his heels, you gotta keep in mind. Well, both our runners have item 2, so if they both want to go do jet strats, no one would have that advantage in that regard. The only advantage would be if MagnetFirst decides to go to a different stage where item 1 is extremely beneficial. And it looks like we got crash bombs from Airman stage. Because poisoncurls did not have crash at all. MagnetFirst one-shot the hot dogs, but still, even with that slight kill advantage, poisoncurls is still managing to keep a small lead. Top of the treehouse is filled with Shotmen and Joes. Pretty much just taking damage, both our runners, as they try to just go through the rest of the Woodman stage, where we're going to be seeing who's going to be locked up in said boss room. A little extra Joe resistance on the final screen before the last stretch. And here we go. Item 2 usage as expected for the very end. poisoncurls opted to do that? MagnetFirst not doing all that. Opted not to do so. Ooh, getting that lucky health drop. It's about to get smacked by a Crusher. And we find Bubble Man in the Woodman boss room. Another Buster Week boss. We found 3 of our 4 Buster Week enemies already. As Woodman has not been taken out. So and both of them still pretty much following each other. Both of them going to Bubble Man stage. One of the new features that we have, at least specifically for this tournament build, is the fact that now, especially for those that have sensitivity towards flashing, the waterfall animations have been turned off. The pause canceling sees MagnetFirstBro at the game, pelted by the Lagfabian's loving embrace, and is able to survive. poisoncurls had a little bit of trouble on the screen prior to the drop into the long stretch, and both of these runners are now pretty much running stride for stride. MagnetFirst being a little bit unaware about the spikes above, jumping a little bit too high and getting himself instant killed. Giving poisoncurls a little bit of breathing room, but not too much. So poisoncurls going straight to the final stretches of Bubble Man stage. About to go to the Bubble Man boss room where our next boss awaits. Let's see who it is. It looks like we got a crash sighting. And it looks like we found our final Buster Week boss in Crash. Only 4 bosses have Buster soft weaknesses. It looks like we already had dealt with all of them. we still haven't found where our last item is. Poisoncurls is going to air, where we already seen MagnetFirstBro start off and get our item 1, so it's gonna get item 1 eventually. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst is about to go to Metal Man stage, which is gonna be new information. Poisoncurls maximizing the item 2 use, pretty much getting a little bit of extra time since MagnetFirst happened to do this stage first. Any little advantage will be beneficial in this race. Both these runners pretty much solid veterans as far as the tournament goes, so they pretty much know just about any and all tricks that the randomizer can do and any other little strats needed in order to try to make each stage manageable and as fast. MagnetFirst take a little bit of beating on the first half of Metal. Gonna see if the second half is a little bit kinder, and gonna see you're gonna use item 2 strats to try to get by parts of the stage. MagnetFirst opted to take the scenic route. He does have item 2 going to our stages first, so he's kind of wasted a little bit of time here. But opted to get that extra E-Tank as poisoncurls dispatches up the Woodman in air, and now we get our item 1 from the same area. So we're gonna see what decision making is gonna go. It's gonna follow suit as follow Magnet's lead and go to Metal, where Heatman is awaits. Of course, since we already have our 4 bosses to the Buster, it's already safe to say that Heatman is pretty resistant to the Buster, which means this is going to be a pretty long fight, and you would like to find a weakness, but looking like MagnetFirst does not have the weakness for this fight. We're going to see if poisoncurls has the weakness for this, having done Quickman early, and Magnet takes a heat crash straight to the face. Opted not to use any of the E-Tanks that it has in storage. Not the wisest decision, considering that thanks to the invincibility that Heatman has, this fight can pretty much be really extended and extensive. poisoncurls pretty much taking care of Metal Man, doing item 2 strats. MagnetFirst finally popping in that E-Tank, hoping to survive the rest of the fight. Alright, Heatman down and Metal Man done. We're about to see if there's item 3 still at large. It remains at large. Alright. Oh, wait. Metal is doing the job. MagnetFirst did not have Metal, as he hadn't gone to Quickman yet, which is what's happening right now. So we're about to see how poisoncurls deals with the rest of the stage, rest of the game, as item 3 is still at large. Fortunately, has item 2's item 1 for Heat, but looks like Heat is gonna be one of those very annoying stages with fan fiends. So a little bit of hot air for this stage. Very dangerous to have fan fiends in this stage. As you can see very clearly on poisoncurls, and these just can be very treacherous with these fan fiends, and potential drops into the lava pools below can be a near certainty. Using the crash bombs to try to destroy the our Sprite Swat fan fiends as quickly as possible. A little worse for Rare, but he survives. MagnetFirst about to go to our Quick Man room where Quick Man does actually resides. Meanwhile, poisoncurls is going through the second half of Heatman stage, where it's full of Pyrobots. There could be worse enemies around, but the lag is still pretty abundant. Meanwhile, Quickman has been dispatched on MagnetFirst in. It is going to crash. Don't have item 3, but the fact that item 3 is still not apparent, it could still be the fact that item 3 could still be in crash, which means you'll have to be forced potentially into a longer crash climb. Or unless you're skillful, you can also do item 1 and item 2 strats on the other side of the crash climb. But first and foremost, we got poisoncurls going to the Heatman's room. About to see who our boss is here. And it's a metal. Metal being strong to the buster in this case. And I don't remember seeing a Flash, so I'm assuming that Flash is in wait in Crashman stage. A vanilla weakness with Quick Boomerang, but even more devastating. And item 3 is indeed in Heatman stage. A very good pull for poisoncurls as he makes his way to Crash. So the crash climb should be much quicker for poisoncurls if he goes on the right side. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst is taking the left side, not having item 3, probably going to be using a combination of item 2 and item 1 to try to make the crash climb as quickly as possible. Ooh, we got our flame spewing squirms trying to block the way. So the left side is the right side of the crash climb is a little bit annoying. But he does manage to get that E-tank. And now we're just a few screens away before going to our crash room, which, if I'm pretty much by process of elimination, Flash should be in wait. And indeed, Flash oh! I miscounted. We only had 3 Buster Week enemies before now. Flash being our final one. With Crashman stage dispatched, all that's left is heat for MagnetFirst, but poisoncurls is already on the last Robot Master here. Pretty much doing something, the randomizer being a little bit more lucky towards poisoncurls, especially since MagnetFirst kind of withheld a few stages, doing Airman a little early. Poisoncurls able to have item 2 available to bypass quite a bit of stages. Oh, MagnetFirst tried to pause buffer. And once again, Fan Fiends being a nuisance in Heatman stage. And that is all 8 robots down for poisoncurls as we get Dr. Mario going rogue. Insert malpractice jokes. As we go once again into the darkness of the void. For those that are here, we do usually have a game. Once again, we have a Mecha Dragon that requires guessing. It has a random weakness, it has a random color, and it does also have a random sprite. While you're guessing weapon and color, as for sprites, we have a variety of sprites for our dragon. We have, of course, we have our vanilla dragon. We have another dragon that has a different set of eyes. which we like to call sunglasses, but we have one that actually have even better sunglasses. It's kind of like think 80s sunglasses. We also have an Oats Dragon, our Dragoncorn, a dragon with a unicorn's horn, and of course, Pure Swag Dragon. So while you get those guesses in, poisoncurls is pretty much going through the rest of Wally 1. Just a few squares away from our dragon. And I haven't mentioned this because the action has been fast and furious, but as you can see, our item 1 is stationary. Item 1 is the only item in the randomizer that has a randomized attribute. Items 2 and item 3 does not have a random attribute, especially in the Wally stages where you pretty much have forced item usage, you would like to have a means to actually complete the game. So, as poisoncurls makes the final stretch towards the Mega Dragon, let's see what kind of dragon we have. We got a Pure Swag Dragon. Pretty much on the light green, maybe sea green. And it's not Buster Week, not Metal, not Crash, so back to the first page. Oh, is it Bubble? It is Bubble, but that is a pretty annoying Bubble. But Alicia's gonna do the job. But poisoncurls barely survives. 2 pips of energy left. And able to move on into Wally 2. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst taking care of Heatman stage finally is now starting Wally 1. A little bit of Man Chicken Mirage, and as usual we get our item 2 fly. Like I said, one of the reasons why item 2 isn't randomized because of areas like this. So now all that's left is a little bit of extra information. Is poisoncurls gonna check for wall weakness? Is he gonna go for the safety? Yes, he is. And we found, ooh, that is a very annoying crash wall weakness. Crash walls does have a randomized weakness to be destroyed. In this case, it is Bubble. Unfortunately, Bubble is one of the worst weaknesses you could have for the walls because the interaction with Bubble and the walls is kind of wonky. You kind of need to literally be right up against the wall for the actual hit detection for the walls to actually activate. Any further and you might end up missing the Bubble head. So the Boo Beam fight is going to be a little bit interesting. You definitely want to hope for a God weakness so you don't have to worry about walls at all. Meanwhile, poisoncurls is about to go to our Pico fight. What kind of Pico we have? Is it vanilla? It is 100% vanilla. We do have some different sprites for Pico, but in this case we don't even have to worry about it, as poisoncurls finds probably the best possible weakness for Pico in our Bubble, which is the vanilla weakness and does vanilla one-shot. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst is trying to find the weakness for the dragon. Oh, Bubble tanked. So look like by process of elimination, not only is Leaf Shield the weakness, but it's also Poly Heat. MagnetFirst and poisoncurls taking care of their respective bosses and going to their respective next stages. Wally 2 for Magnet, Wally 3 for poisoncurls. Poisoncurls taking the pit stop for the energy refill. And look like we got some. For those that like to do comparisons for the water, I will probably say this is probably closer to Orange High C or maybe Tang. For those that still remember Tang, Tang probably is non-existent now. If Tang still exists in this day and age, I'd never kind of like to know. I'm gonna have to Google that someday. But that's for a later period of time. As poisoncurls safely Safety survives Wally 3. We're about to go to our Guts tank. Alright, so we got a vanilla looking Guts tank. Is it Buster weak? Nope, not this time. So the weakness hunt begins. Bubble quick out of question. Leaf shield, it is. He opted to fire, but this is actually a pretty decent. Yeah, there we go. Finally opted to just go straight into the hitbox and try to just pile on the damage that way. Remember, one of the main gimmicks of Leaf Shield is the fact that you will never ever have to drain energy for Leaf Shield as long as you don't move to actually fire it. So with the Leaf Shield that we have, you definitely would like to at least go inside and just kind of like deal damage that way. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst does find Bubble and should have a relatively easy time with the Picos. Meanwhile, with our Final Fantasy 1 should be Sky Temple. Pretty fitting for Wally 4. poisoncurls use item 2 to mitigate the problem with the randomized fake platforms. And now we're about to go into what we like to call our anxiety rooms. But will they be actual anxiety or will they be rest stops? I see it's borderline rest stop. Lightning Lord is definitely not the most threatening enemy for these sets of rooms. So MagnetFirst going to our pain field Wally 3. poisoncurls taking the plunge, taking damage from my Lightning Lord to set up the item ones to continue on. And a short item 2 fly away. Now we're going to the last stretch where Blue Beam awaits. We know that Bubble is the wall weakness for the crash walls. But all that leaves now is the actual Blue Beam weakness. Excuse me. To note, the crash walls and the Blue Beam turrets do not share the same weakness in the randomizer. And as you can see, this is why Bubble is one of the worst weaknesses. The interaction with the walls and the bubbles is one of the worst. So you definitely want to hope for a god weakness in this case so you don't have to worry about them. But for right now, it's not looking too good. Nope, it's Vanilla Crash, so you're gonna have to deal with these walls with Bubble interaction as MagnetFirst dispatches the Guts tank and is following suit to Wally 4. This is one of those cases where you gotta get real close to get those bubbles to interact with the walls, or if you're skillful enough, try for the jump that poisoncurls is doing now with the 2-block high ceiling jumps, which is kind of a really annoying jump to deal with, but poisoncurls is able to navigate the room in a pretty clean manner and is able to go straight into Wally 5, which is our boss rush stage, which has one of the best features in the game where the music is non-stop. And it looks like we're gonna get some Meta Knight's revenge for our boss rush. Very, very fitting. So for right now, poisoncurls pretty much has a substantial lead on MagnetFirst. So barring any kind of catastrophe, poisoncurls should have race 1 on lock. But we'll see. We have seen times before where literally anything and everything can happen. poisoncurls can get walled by this stage if things go south, but he does have 2 E-tanks for emergency situations, so odds are he should be okay for Wally 5. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst going through the rest of Wally 4 do item 2 strats to get by the. About to say, it looked like he almost prematurely got off, but MagnetFirst was pretty much safe the entire time. So while we pretty much just dealing with the rest of the game, once again, this your boy LV Creed here doing commentary for this Group D matchup between MagnetFirstBro and poisoncurls for our Speedgaming Live 2023 edition of the Mega Man 2 Randomizer Tournament. Once again, to keep track, both our runners faced are already determined. poisoncurls is at 0-2. Unfortunately, he has no means of making it to the bracket phase. But he's pretty much running for pride here, trying to take on the undefeated MagnetFirstBro, who already made his ticket towards the bracket phase. Ooh, poisoncurls getting decked by Heat Crash. Not opted to take the juice box to try to continue, but once again, his lead is pretty substantial, so not too bad a situation for poisoncurls. MagnetFirst trying to deal with boobies here. Once again, Bubble being the wall weakness, one of the worst, but still able to get through the rooms in a pretty decent manner. Not worse for wear though. But while MagnetFirst is actually starting to refight, poisoncurls is already on the final Robot Master and now doing the Walling Machine. The Walling Machine had some changes. It used to be a chance that the Buster is weak, but it has been a very high chance. That chance has been reduced significantly. And poisoncurls is just opted to straight try to find weapon weaknesses. Quick Boomerang was good for the first phase, but not for the second. We're digging for that second phase weakness. In this case, it's air for this one. Was air the god weakness and good for both phases? We won't know, at least until MagnetFirst takes a shot at the Walling Machine. But right now, poisoncurls is heading towards Victory Road, hoping to get match one of our best of 3 in this race. Pretty much on lock. We got one alien and one weakness to find. How soon will poisoncurls find that weakness? We're about to find out in literally a few seconds as poisoncurls is about to head to the final boss door where our alien awaits. And Dr. Mario, what does he transform into? Ooh, literally a wily alien. There's the malformed beast. What is the weakness for the boss? He's trying to find a leaf. Fortunately it wasn't. Those were some pretty crucial misses. Oh, Vanilla Bobble. He takes an alien hug. Do not hug the alien. It's not good for your health. Seriously. And that is GG for poisoncurls with official race time.gg time of 32 minutes and 9 seconds. Very solid run for poisoncurls. MagnetFirst is continuing to fight, but it looks like MagnetFirst has found the dot done on the race time and has opted to forfeit. Excuse me. Very solid attempt for MagnetFirst, but it looked like routing was the main difference. Doing error early, kind of being the difference maker between first and second in this matchup. So with that, poisoncurls does go 1-up on MagnetFirst, and we shall have our second race in the best of 3 in a moment. Stay tuned, everyone. And we are back. This is your boy LV Creed here on the ones and twos, bringing you the Mega Man 2 Randomizer tournament for this Speedgaming Live 2023. As you have seen from race 1, poisoncurls was able to take out MagnetFirstBro and is now looking to seal the deal and wrap this up quickly. But MagnetFirst, don't forget, he's still undefeated in this particular group. So I'm expecting MagnetFirst to eventually bounce back and try to force a game 3. It seems like MagnetFirst screen is a little bit choppy, but I have seen confirmation that everything should be good to go. Hopefully MagnetFirst screen will kind of be a little stable as the race continues. But I have given the okay, and the race should be up in a moment. And right now, we're both good to go. Hopefully, MagnetFirstBro stream stabilizes, and we'll probably get confirmation of where our runners are at the current moment. But in the meanwhile, we got poisoncurls already starting up in a quick man stage, which is our usual starting point for our racers. Once again, a very simplistic stage. Ooh, poisoncurls taking a quick beat to the face, as kind of got a little bit too lax on that area, trying to get to the side with the E tank. Lightly notes are pretty durable as well. If anyone can excuse me for a moment, I'm gonna double check and see if MagnetFirst stream is actually kind of managing itself while poisoncurls is going through quick match stage. Yeah, it seems like while both our runners are still technically going, seems like MagnetFirstBro's stream is having a little bit of issue. Hopefully he's still going and we'll see to hopefully get his streaming situation fixed as the race continues. But meanwhile, poisoncurls, in spite of the early death, is able to safely get by Quickman stage. You're about to see who's in Quickman's room. And we found a medal in Quick room. A Buster weak one at that. And there we go. We got a Magnet first sighting. And he actually started with Woodman stage of all stages. So he wound up getting to defeating the boss in Woodman stage, which I thought I saw air. And it looked like Woodman did not have an item. I saw that poisoncurls got an item from Quickman stage. I wasn't able to see it trying to keep track of MagnetFirstBro situation here, but I'm pretty sure I will catch it as when I see the menu screen at some point. So I eventually will track that in. Of course, if anyone saw it beforehand, would like to tell me so I can go ahead and track it immediately now, it'd be beneficial. I'm always up for chat help. Always like to have an extra pair of eyes. Or 10. But seriously, back to business. Once again, both our runners dealing with their first bosses are congregating in Flash, where this stage wouldn't only be one of the first ones. Ooh, poisoncurls taking a crusher headbutt straight to the face. Not gonna be able to go for that E-tank. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst, he's sticking up, probably gonna go for the E-tank, and safely does. Meanwhile, poisoncurls is going to the boss room first. This using Flash room, and it's quick. And ooh, this could have been one of the worst situations here. But Quickman is soft weak to the Buster, so this should not have too much trouble. poisoncurls wisely taking the E-tank though, as he did not have the health to survive that fight. While MagnetFirst winds up going completely all in, taking out Quick. Flash stage done. Item 2 found for both our runners. It seems to be kind of a similar situation for poisoncurls and MagnetFirst. MagnetFirst taking a little bit of an unconventional route, while poisoncurls are going to the tried and true as far as the randomizer goes, route for these bosses. So once again, Bubble Man for poisoncurls, MagnetFirst going to metal, which is actually not a bad place to go, especially since this is zipless. You're gonna gain no benefits from doing zips, especially with the new coding that normally pushes Mega Man to the opposite direction, as opposed to, say, in Bubble Man stage, you'll zip literally across this area under zipping circumstances. So MagnetFirst, last time he got here and had item 2 early, he did not make use of it at all. Is MagnetFirst gonna do the same exact thing? Yep. It's those situations that kind of worries me for the bracket phases. Not withholding those time saving strats, not using item 2. It's those little time gains and losses that determine the first race. But meanwhile, poisoncurls safely navigating through Bubble Man stage. About to see who's in that room. And it is Crash. Crash is durable, but he's not really aggressive. So a careful, well-planned fight, and poisoncurls should survive. Meanwhile, Bubble Man himself, poisoncurls need to be careful. He can only take one hit. Meanwhile, Bubble Man himself took a Crash Man with the big snipe just before poisoncurls was able to beat him. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst takes out Bubble Man, who put residence in Metal Man stage. And that is stuff like this can be a big difference maker in our matchup. Meanwhile, poisoncurls is doing a much better fight with Crash, having full health for the fight, and now takes out Crash, exiting Bubble Man stage. Both our runners going straight to Airman stage. MagnetFirst a little bit ahead thanks to the Crashman death. But once again, it's all about how people route their stages and how they execute the stages. You saw MagnetFirst did not use item 2 for Metal Man stage. That you're gonna keep in mind. That's something to keep in mind in the back of your head. The lack of item usage that MagnetFirst is not doing, while poisoncurls is usually a racer that definitely would like to use items to try to bypass as much of the stage as much as possible. And I'm pretty sure poisoncurls is going to use item 2 for this stretch of air. No, he doesn't. You're gonna actually opt not to go for it. Probably saw the birds and didn't want to use it, so there will be no time gain or loss in this case. While MagnetFirst deals with a false leaf shield starting, leaf rising would is actually Buster Soft weak, so it's not even an issue. We still have items 1 and items 3 completely MIA, and we got some of the worst stages that will probably like to have them available still in here. And we know, and we already seen Woodman from MagnetFirst not having an item. So odds of, I think by process of elimination, items 1 and 3 are probably actually locked in Crash and Heat. So it's literally a worst case scenario for items. No! We had item 1. When did I miss item 1? Oh, that was the item that I probably missed earlier from Quick. I said it was gonna come back and see what the item was when he went to the menu. So poisoncurls actually does have item 1 in tow and that had to be from Quick, which MagnetFirst have not been to yet. And that is a good atomic fire. Supercharged very fast, one-shot the dogs, but its energy consumption is a little bit wanting. Very high ammo consumption, so even though I'm pretty sure poisoncurls are gonna probably stick with this for a little bit, yeah, that ammo drain is gonna be a bit of a thing to keep in mind. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst taking on Crash and Bubble. Plenty of health. Should survive. There you go. Bubble Man stage down for MagnetFirst. And MagnetFirst finally goes to Quickman stage. We finally know that item 1 is in this stage. So, fortunately, there wasn't a situation where item 1 hasn't been necessary. But that still puts item 3 at large. And it's a situation similar to our first match where it could either be Crash or Heat. Last time it was in Heat, but it could very well be in Crash, which could make the Crash climb much longer. And there is our Airman sighting. We saw that when MagnetFirst finally got back on stream. poisoncurls taking a little bit of a beating, and Airman is very durable. Ooh, takes a tornado hit rather than a body hit. So poisoncurls was able to luckily survive the fight against air. MagnetFirst using Flash to partially make a safe wave do these force beams. Our time excuse me. Our time stopper being our fractional variant and not our full drainer. poisoncurls is pretty much made Atomic Fire his best friend equipping it immediately into shredding every single enemy that comes across his path. Hopefully he can have some energy along the way. Once again, the energy consumption is not the best. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst is about to face Metal, and it should be a very easy Metal fight. Buster weak, pretty much vanilla acting, and there you go. MagnetFirst taken out. Quick Man stage should be getting item 1, and there's the confirmation. So MagnetFirst technically is all about a little bit ahead. Pretty much a Robot Master. Well, not necessarily a Robot Master. Probably about a Robot Master and a third ahead of poisoncurls. As poisoncurls is about to go to the Metal Man boss room, right next to Robot Master, which is Bubble. Trying to find a weakness. I'll stick with Buster. Meanwhile, we got MagnetFirst dealing with our Lagphibians. Technically, one of our safer options because they don't block the ladder often, but still, as you can see, when you see 3 frogs in sight, extremely laggy. Meanwhile, this is the exact same deviation that we had when item 3 wasn't available last time. poisoncurls take the option to do heat with item 3 currently absent, while MagnetFirst is doing crash without item 3. Once again, it's these kinds of situations that could make or break the race for either of our runners. Ooh, shrimps on the ladders for MagnetFirstBro. But once again, thanks to our new pausing abilities, which we can cancel knockback, in addition to cancel weapons that are on screen, MagnetFirst is able to get by the shrimp and continue his crash climb. But it's a slow climb, especially when not using items. But MagnetFirst is about to make his final stretch to the Crash Man room. Meanwhile, poisoncurls making use of our stationary item 1. Both C's having stationary item 1s. And use the item 2 to ignore the Yokus. And we have a Flash Man starting in Crash. Buster weak height jumping should be a non-issue for Magnet. And down goes Flash is item 3 in Crash. No! Item 3 is in Heat. poisoncurls may have a means to come back with extra time because now we have 100% confirmed that he does have item 3. So poisoncurls might be able to make up some time in Crash, but it's still the fact of the matter that MagnetFirst is still a little bit ahead. poisoncurls finding the weakness in Metal for Heat, information that will come a long way in terms of refight knowledge. And there's the confirmation for item 3 after the fight in Heatman stage. With a vanilla heat, by the way. Oh man, Church's music for Crash Man stage. Don't ask me why I find that hilarious, I just do. But yeah, poisoncurls with item 3 in hand will have a potential faster Crash climb. But MagnetFirst should still technically have the advantage in terms of stage link when they converge to the Wily stages. We'll see once we actually get to Wily 1. Meanwhile, our Lagphibians is once again giving our runners a tough time. poisoncurls having to do another item 1, not actually being high enough for the second item to grab that ladder. Alright, so here's MagnetFirstBro's final Robot Master in a vanilla heat. Let's see, will he find Metal Or he can go first. He's taking first page. He doesn't find metal, but he does find a soft weakness in air, which is just as good. But he does take a heat crash to the face. And that, it doesn't quite cancel the death that poisoncurls had on Crash, but any kind of mistake is crucial for poisoncurls to make up time as MagnetFirst takes on heat. Does pop in the juice box, knowing about to take that damage. One more hit on MagnetFirst's side, and there you go. That is all 8 robos down for MagnetFirst. So MagnetFirst is our first player to go into the Wally stages. But do we have a Wally? We indeed do have a vanilla Wally sighting. So once again, going to the Wally stages. You know what time it is as we go to our Steve Austin What Castle. It's time, everyone. Oh, poisoncurls taking out Crash in short order. Following not too far behind MagnetFirst, but yes, we got ourselves a dragon. You know it's guessing time. So once again, we got a color and we got a weakness. That's the obvious part. But now we have multiple dragon sprites. You can guess that as well. Once again, your options is a vanilla dragon. You have 2 kinds of shades dragons. One with kind of like pointed shades, kind of like pointed eyes. One with kind of like 80 shades. We got an ocean dragon, a dragon corn, a dragon with a unicorn's horn, and the ever-present swag dragon. So of course, make those guesses now in chat, and for those that guess correctly, you get a virtual smooch on the cheek for myself. Whether that's a good thing or not is up for debate. But yeah, Wally 1, MagnetFirst is on his way towards the dragon with I'm sorry, I love this track. Shout out to the Bomberman 64 second attack. Alright, MagnetFirst is our first to reach our dragon. What kind of dragon are we going to be seeing? Keep in mind that poisoncurls is literally right on MagnetFirst's heels. Oh yeah, there's our 80s glasses. And that is a very blue dragon. But what is the weakness? It ain't Buster. But it's definitely air. Air is one of our 2 weaknesses. So if you guess blue, 80 shades, and air, have fun with this little smooch. Bro, I may never do that again. That probably sounds horrible. But yeah, poisoncurls starting with the second page. It is neither Metal nor Crash. We already know it's not Buster. It's not Heat. But he does find air, so we won't be able to find that second weakness. MagnetFirst opted to check the wall weakness. It's definitely not anything for the second page. Ooh, a little bit of choppiness on MagnetFirst end, but we found that quick boomerang is indeed our wall weakness. So now that we have that information settled, we also have extra information that our blue beam turrets will not be weak to Crash. To the blue beam turrets. The Crash walls and the blue beam turrets are specifically programmed to never be the same weakness. Automobiles in the way, kind of lagging up the area, slowing things down a bit. But MagnetFirst is taking it like a champ, about to go into our Pico rooms in short order. We got several potential pixels, well, not pixels, but sprites for the Pico units. Let's see what kind of sprite we got. Ooh, it's our Twitch monster Pico units, which is Buster Weak. Very, very favorable outcome. You don't have to worry about any kind of uses of weapons, and weapon consumption cannot be at can be close to a premium. But will poisoncurls find out that same weakness, or is gonna go weakness hunting beforehand? Reminder that every single Wally boss has a chance to be Buster Weak. One more Pico unit to go. And MagnetFirst does indeed take out the Pico units. poisoncurls is on Buster, so he'll definitely find out that the Pico units are Buster Weak. And should have a pretty simple time with his boss. Or at least he should. MagnetFirst taking a detour to get the E-tanks. It's one of those little choices that could tack on time. You see, poisoncurls will keep going. But meanwhile, going to the green sludge of Wally Stage 3. Got some dollar store Metroids and some Met looking gems. MagnetFirst doing some pause canceling, ensuring that he has a safe fall down Wally 3. Always a smart decision if you're not comfortable with the drop. poisoncurls changed to a different weapon, but not opting to get oh, he had flash equipped, but I think he would not have enough energy to activate flash to begin with. Meanwhile, we got a Bowser tank sighting, one of our newest Gus tank sprites, for better or for worse, depending on opinion. Shouts to Charlie Boy, who has been our sprite dev that has painstakingly added all these new sprite swaps for our enemies in the randomizer. It hasn't been easy, but Charlie Boy has done a lot of work for these, trying to transpose all these sprites into the randomizer. As we find at least the Gus tank was weak to Bubble. It does have another weakness, but will poisoncurls find that weakness, or will he find Bubble first? And it looks gonna find Bubble first. So poisoncurls still not too far behind MagnetFirst, as Magnet is our first to go into Wally Stage 4. I'll just do item 2 strats to mitigate the issue with the randomized fake platforms. poisoncurls once again not too far behind, now starting Wally 4. We're gonna see how our anxiety rooms, our moving platform rooms, is gonna be dealing for our runners. MagnetFirstBro gonna be the first to see if it's actual anxiety or be rest stops. Similar to last time, mostly lightning lords, so not too threatening, basically a rest home. But still gotta be careful. Hubris can be a deadly foe, and not being properly set up can mean your hide. MagnetFirst set up for the item 2 fly. Does safely make it across. poisoncurls take the damage boost off the lightning lord to get by the first screen. About to go to the second screen. Probably gonna use item 1 strats on the preceding screens as well. Once he sees the enemy layout. Alright, MagnetFirst about to be our first to go into the Pico units. We already know that quick boomerang is our weakness. The big question is, what is the turret weakness? instead of God weakness. If it's a God weakness, we see how it affects the run from poisoncurls side. But in this case, it's not. Actually, it's still a pretty decent weakness. Buster being the next weakness. Like poisoncurls did not have the information beforehand, but we'll quickly find that Boomerang is the wall weakness. But he's gonna go a little bit of a deeper weakness hunt before fighting Buster. So Magnet taking care of the boobies. About to go into our refights. As we got some Megalovania for our boss rush music for this seed. poisoncurls having a little bit of a rough going on these turrets. Having trouble with these walls. But finally able to dispatch those walls and mashes his way to victory. But unfortunately gonna be a couple of Robot Masters behind, as MagnetFirst is about to go on his third Robot Master. poisoncurls is about to immediately go into the boss rush, starting his first. Opting to go to the opposite side. So those are a fan of left versus right side battles. You got that going for you. So now it's just a war of attrition, and E-Tank management, if they have any, can be a thing. poisoncurls officially shown that he has one. Not sure if MagnetFirst has an E-Tank or not in his arsenal. Oh, he has 3. MagnetFirst is definitely on a much safer position, using Air Shooter to decimate our Banana Man looking Woodman. So maybe borrowing some air. Ooh, Heatman has been taking out names throughout the entire race. Heatman taking poisoncurls out once again. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst is using Air Shooter, which he found out much earlier. Actually, I think poisoncurls found metal for Heatman last time. It could also be a case that I could be confusing seeds. You know how seeds can blend together, regardless of the matter. MagnetFirst was able to defeat all 8 bosses. Finds that Air Shooter is weak for both phases. Basically our god weakness as far as weapons go. Not sure if Buster was available, but the end justifies the means and it doesn't matter. MagnetFirst is on his way to Victory Road. It is on his way to tying up this set. So once again, we got 1 alien and 1 weakness to find. How soon will MagnetFirst seal the deal and find that weakness? Meanwhile, poisoncurls is taking out our very durable Airman. 3 Robot Masters remaining. Alright, what is our oats going to be? Our oats be oats. And it's a Buster Weak Oats alien. So a very easy fight upcoming for MagnetFirst. GG's, we got a tied matchup. That is 1-1 for this race, as MagnetFirst gets the official time, racetime.gg, of 30 minutes and 36 seconds. Very brick seed. Meanwhile, we're going to see if poisoncurls decides to continue. It looked like he stopped his timer, so yep, he sees the writings on the wall and is opted to forfeit the match and go straight into our race 3 which will be coming up very shortly. So once I get everything set up, we will have a full deck. So race 3 coming up very shortly. Hang tight, everyone. All right, we are back. Welcome everyone. This is your boy LV Creed here, presenting to you Group D match race for Mega Man 2 Randomizer for this Speedgaming Live 2023. The countdown has been set for our race 3. It is tied 1-1 between poisoncurls and MagnetFirstBro. For those that are a reminder of how the group phases work, at least for Group D, poisoncurls and MagnetFirst phase has been locked. poisoncurls is unable to make it to the brackets, but is racing for pride and trying to put a dent in MagnetFirstBro, who is undefeated and has locked his way into the bracket phase. So once again, this is gonna be a very interesting matchup. MagnetFirst wound up coming back, forcing the game 3 between our two runners, and we're gonna see how things are about to get set and going, and we are indeed off. A couple of unusual picks. Once again, MagnetFirst starting with air. One of the most unusual starting points, because this is literally could be one of the toughest stages to deal with without any items. And poisoncurls taking an early dip in a bubble stage, and Blockies have been acting weird in this seed. I think it was a situation that we saw earlier where you kept going and somehow there was a phantom hitbox. While the Mega Man 2 randomizer is mostly stable, there are situations where, you know, we're still mucking up with code for a little bit, so there are some weird situations that can occur within the game. And if it was indeed that phantom hitbox situation for the Blockies, that's a very unfortunate situation for poisoncurls, taking that death early on. But regardless of the matter, it's the game we play, and we pretty much just work on through it, as poisoncurls is proving right now as it continues on with Bubbleman stage. Meanwhile, Airman stage is being pretty kind. Once again, this usually would be a stage where enemy sets can be extremely nasty, but it's pretty much a pretty casual stroll in the skies for MagnetFirstBro, as he's the first to go into our boss room to find ourselves a Metal Man. A little spammy, but softly to the buster, so this should be a very quick fight for MagnetFirst, as he dispatches that and goes out of the Airman stage with no items, as he goes straight to Metal. Meanwhile, poisoncurls dispatches a Woodman and Bubble. Is it going to be a situation where he gets an item early? I'm sensing a pattern here. This is the third straight time where MagnetFirst goes kind of this weird rotation as far as boss routing, and not really getting much to show for it. Meanwhile, poisoncurls sticks to the path and winds up getting an early item. But of course, as we've seen in both routes, in both races up to this point, it really doesn't matter, and it all depends on how our players race their race. So for right now, poisoncurl is going to flash stage. We're going to see if he tries to get that E-tank if the enemies are kind enough to allow him to get it. But meanwhile, MagnetFirst is going to Metal. Ooh, Fan Fiends, that is not promising for a chance to get these E-tanks. Yep, and there it goes. A Fan Fiend sighting, pretty much denying poisoncurls a chance, but that's why we got item 1. Item 1 pretty much saving poisoncurls from a chance. Ooh, and Buster Walls. In a very interesting scenario on a MagnetFirst end. Airman in conveyor belts is really interesting, and I'll explain that in a little bit while we get a quick man in a Flash's room, which is softly to the Buster. So pretty simple affair for poisoncurls. So while we got Woodman for MagnetFirst, as poisoncurls goes to Metal, let's explain how conveyors work with Airman. Actually, the conveyors always take priority in terms of platform movement. So whenever you're trying to get blown away by air, always stay grounded. not only will the conveyors take priority, but as you saw on Magnet first end, as he uses a charge heat to take out our fenders here, you will not be blown away, and the air shooters slowly move across the screen, giving you ample time to take out air and deal in multiple shots. You'll see that come up again on poisoncurls' screen. So having air in metal is more beneficial than you think. Meanwhile, at the top of the treehouse is a lot of crabs and lightning lords. It's an annoying set, but definitely far from the worst. So poisoncurls opting to do metal early, unable to have items to fly throughout the rest of the stage. It's just gonna walk it out. We're gonna face our airman in a little bit. Meanwhile, we're gonna have new information of our robot master in Woodman stage coming up on Madness side. poisoncurls taking an unfortunate death. Probably think he get out damage air. Probably should take that E-tank. Meanwhile, we have a flash shotting in Wood. Flash taken out in short order. And we find item 2 in Woodman stage. But yeah, as you can see on poisoncurls end, you notice how the conveyor belts is not only ignoring the blowback from airmen, but also maybe the tornadoes or the little flame shots that he's spewing out. See how they slow up? This is why you would like to have airman stage, airman in metal for that reason alone. But you definitely gotta have the health to take care of it. As poisoncurls has unfortunately shown taking that early death in the air fight, trying to outdamage him. But meanwhile, both our runners are converging to Quickman stage. Magnet first pretty much have the advantage so far, but we still got a lot of game left where literally anything can happen. But poisoncurl already have a couple of deaths to his name. By hook or by crook. Both our runners taking care of our force field section. Magnet going through it pretty cleanly. poisoncurl's not too far behind, having just as clean a run. Magnet first is first through our force beam section. Having to deal with a little bit of crab resistance. But it's on our way to our boss room. About to see who's in Quickman's room. poisoncurl's not too far behind. And we have a Bubble Man sighting. A reminder that Bubble Man is a little bit interesting in these uneven rooms. Bubble Man will only act whenever you're horizontally adjacent to Mega Man. And we get an item 3 for our troubles, dispatching Bubble Man in Quickman's room. poisoncurl's trying to take advantage of the AI quirk of Bubble Man, but was unable to find a good weapon to benefit from it. Meanwhile, let's see if Magnet first gets the same situation. Nope, he was able to survive. So poisoncurl is kind of getting shafted in Bubble Man stage, but Magnet first able to not get got by whatever caused poisoncurl to fall into the void in Bubble Man stage. Meanwhile, poisoncurls opted to go to Crash, having items 1 and 3 available at its disposal. It is getting plastered. I really think he should take the E-tank. you cannot let your pride overcome you. If you're in a position where you need to take a tank, sometimes it's best to take that tank. Especially seeing how you just get manhandled by these Joes. Meanwhile, Manning first taking care of Bowman stage in short order. We know there is a Woodman in wait. Our water soaked log with a false start lead shield, but a very slow falling set of falling leaves, pretty much making Woodman easy pickings. Remember, the main AI quirk of Woodman is that the shield will never ever be respawned until the leaves completely are off screen, which is why a reverse rising leaves is so dangerous if that's the case for Woodman's AI. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst finally going to Flashman stage. We know that Busters is the weakness for the walls. We saw that on poisoncurls in. Meanwhile, poisoncurls is taking a crash climb, seeing that there is a shrimp kind of blocking the way. Trying to do time stopper strats in order to get by them, but the shrimps were not having it. They ended up having to use pause buffering to cancel the knockback to continue to climb. Surprise shrimp and a game over for poisoncurls. That is a huge setback for poisoncurls. The deaths wound up piling up, and once again, it's really that one Bubble Man death that kind of just caused a number of issues in the early goings. Not to mention not taking that E-tank and probably taking an unnecessary death from the man chickens early on in Crash as well. Meanwhile, Quickman gets literally dispatched quickly, and MagnetFirst now has 2 Rod Masters left, the usual suspects for our last 2 being Heat and Crash. Once again, the correlation between the first screen in Crash and our preceding moving platform rooms, as you see on poisoncurls in. The enemies on that first screen is usually the enemies seen on the moving platform rooms. Bunnies usually being one of the most annoying, since they usually block the ladders. Normally you would need a weapon of some sort to try to bypass them. But once again, thanks to our new canceling of knockback with pausing, it's a non-issue, but unfortunately you will still have to trade that damage. Alright, poisoncurls, second attempt at the climb. Gonna have to deal with our scrimps. Try to make use of that damage canceling. Trying to make this climb as quick as possible, because now thanks to that game over, he's at a very deep deficit. While MagnetFirst is just pretty much continuing to extend the lead. Poisoncurls dealing with our last set of fan fiends before going to our boss room. Let's see what our Crash boss room has in store for our Mr. Robot Masters that we have remaining. And it is indeed a vanilla Crash. Think with Crash Bombs, he's thinking that Crash Bomb is doing the work, but it actually isn't. He's definitely switched to another weapon, and Buster ain't gonna do the job. Vic wasn't doing it. Hasn't quite hit with Bubble. And Bubble looks like he's doing the job as a soft weakness. got 3 Robot Masters left for Poison Curls. After Crash Man is done, we're gonna have 2 Robot Masters. We got not 2, but 1 Robot Master left. And MagnetFirst also just take the Buster fight to Crash. Probably could have done with a weakness hunt, but the end justifies the means. Crash Man is down, and Heat Man is all that is left for MagnetFirst. It looks like in our oven here, we got some fried shrimp, maybe some roasted bird, with a couple of blockers on the way. poisoncurls making its way through Woodman stage. Hoping to try to make up as much time as humanly possible, thanks to that unfortunate game over. But it's pretty much gonna need a lot of mistakes on MagnetFirst end in order to have a chance at catching up, but it can happen. So if anyone root for poisoncurls, you definitely are hoping for MagnetFirst errors. MagnetFirst making excellent use of that item 1, ignoring all the Yokus, and should be following suit immediately with item 2. As poisoncurls gets through the top of the treehouse and making its way back down. While we get to our boss rooms, once again, welcome everyone to this Group D matchup for the Mega Man 2 Randomizer of Speedgaming Live 2023. Leave the boy LV Creed on comms, MagnetFirstBro and poisoncurls duking it out in a game 3. As we get a vanilla Heatman sighting in the boss room, which is Soft Buster Week. It is a slow burner, a very slow heat tackle, which can be surprisingly tricky in terms of trying to jump over it. But both our runners dispatched their respective bosses, and now MagnetFirst has officially taken care of all 8 Robot Masters. It is now going to take care of Wily proper, which of course means that it's time for one final guess for this race set. We gotta set the dragon, everyone. We got a color you gotta guess. You got a weakness you gotta guess. And for extra bonus, we got a sprite. Once again, the sprite for the dragon is as follows. We got the vanilla dragon. We have 2 sets of shades dragon, one with pointed shades, one with, I would like to call 80s style shades. We got our dragon corn, a dragon with a unicorn's head, with a unicorn horn. Our oats dragon, which tends to be pretty popular. And one of our newest ones, the swag dragon. So of course, get those guesses in chat. And for whoever wins, well, let's just say you get bonus 100 points. Whatever points that goes to, let your imagination go wild. poisoncurls going to the Airman boss room where that boss awaits. Metal should be easy boss. It was Buster Soft Week, so poisoncurls should have very little issue in this fight. Very easy damage race. All that's left is a heat. So we're technically, I'll say about two stages about behind MagnetFirst. As MagnetFirst is about to go to our dragon. Let's see what kind of dragon we got. And once again, our 80s style glasses dragon has appeared. Pretty greenish, aside from some color backgrounds, extra color backgrounds. That is a hard to see sprite, but I'm gonna assume that's Bubble. That was very hard to see. Anyway, without dragging down, ooh, poisoncurls taking the lag knockback to the spikes. Probably should have taken the pause cancel in order to cancel that knockback. Poisoncurls making use of that knowledge that Buster is the wall weakness. Get assaulted by shrimps, but able to pause and survive, cause that Yoku block was gone. Very clutch moment for poisoncurls, surviving what could have been another death in heat. Meanwhile, MagnetFirst, knowing that Buster was the wall weakness already, opted to make the detour for the extra juice box and making his way through the rest of Wily Stage 2. About to see which Pico sprite we have in store. Of course, there's one particular one that is very dangerous. Will we see it? We're about to find out in a couple of screens while poisoncurls takes on his final robot master in our slow burn heat. Paul should just stick with Buster with it being a soft weakness, but he's off to do the weakness hunt and finds Leaf Shield for his a vanilla bubble. Meanwhile, we got our Blob Pico, or Jelly Pico, whichever you want to call it. He found his air shooter, but it's 1-to-1. Probably not the best weapon to use. But it looks like MagnetFirst is gonna stick with this weakness until it's gone. We're gonna see poisoncurls try to find another weakness here. Yep, there's all the Leaf Shield. Bubble was the second weakness. There is one extra weakness to be found. It looked like Buster was not an available weakness, otherwise we wouldn't have had a weakness hunt to begin with, so there was that. MagnetFirst starting off in Wily Stage 3, meanwhile poisoncurls is beginning the Wily stages proper, hoping to once again trying to make up as much lost time as possible and or hoping for a number of mistakes from Magnet, but Magnet is still holding on to that lead as we go into our grape soda here for Wily Stage 3. Gonna see if Magnet does the little pause canceling to slow down the momentum. Never a bad strat if you're not used to the spike fall. So MagnetFirst is about to be our first to go straight into the Gus tank and try to dig for the weakness for that fight. Meanwhile, poisoncurls is about to deal with our Sage Dragon, getting Buster equipped, hoping that Buster is a weakness. Pretty sure Buster was not a weakness, otherwise there would not have been a weakness on MagnetFirstBro's end. Meanwhile, we got a special guest. The Technodrome makes the appearance. And it's not Buster weak, not Air weak. Is it first page? Is the weakness even on the first page? Oh, it's heat. That's one weakness. And that is a weakness you hope really not to find, honestly. Meanwhile, poisoncurls, there is a manipulation you can do with item 1 to lock the dragon in place. Not sure if it was intentional on poisoncurls and they're trying to do. But whatever the case, it was a strat that failed. And to confirm, that was actually Quick Boomerang that was one of the weaknesses. And that was the weakness that MagnetFirst used. So poisoncurl does dispatch the dragon. MagnetFirst does dispatch the Technodrome. And is going to Wily 4. MagnetFirst pretty much once again having a stranglehold on this particular race. poisoncurls doing the usual item 2 fly. Once again, just hoping for errors on Magnet's side, but Magnet is right now he's just too consistent. MagnetFirst consistency is just a little too strong right now as he makes his way through our anxiety rooms, where Prop Top seems to be one of the names of the game in these sections. Let's see what we see on the third screen on MagnetFirst end. Nope, 100% rest home. 3 item 2 pause. Probably should have kept the item 2 on a little bit for wasted time with menu. Of course, that's still an extremely small time waste in comparison, but it's just something to know. Meanwhile, what is poisoncurls doing? Is he kind of just making sport of it all? Using Time Stopper? poisoncurls really has officially, at this point, poisoncurls has officially forfeited. GG's to poisoncurls for the attempt, but we still have to confirm the win on MagnetFirst end, so MagnetFirst does have to continue and beat the seed in order for confirmation of win. That is the tournament rule set. But once again, GG's to poisoncurls for the attempt. As MagnetFirst does go through the boss rush proper. And poisoncurls does have to leave, so we're not going to get an interview from him as well. And of course, once MagnetFirst does confirm the win, I'm pretty sure MagnetFirst won't be able to be around for the interview. He usually doesn't, being a native Chinese speaker. We usually respect the wishes of our runners. So once we're done here, we're going to be pretty much done with our time here on Speedgaming 3, and we'll go over scheduling. But of course, first things first, MagnetFirst does still need to beat the game. Magnet just obliterating one man with the crash bombs. Easy 5 full metal, Buster soft weak. 2 more Robot Masters to go. No conveyor belts to stop these wins this time around. Let's see how this fight differs from the first. Airman leaving his final mark as MagnetFirst, he opts to take the death. Having a hard time keeping track with the E-Tank situation here. Regardless of the matter, he had 1 E-Tank left. He could have taken it, but probably just opts to take the death. Conserve that E-Tank for this particular fight. And metal is the weakness for the first phase. It's the weakness for the second phase. This is the god weapon of choice. Yes, it is. Very good metal, easily spammable, very low ammo consumption, very proper choice for the Wily machine. And all that's left is MagnetFirst to beat the alien to confirm the win, and will go undefeated in Group D. the one victory road stroll towards the alien. Once again, we got one alien and one weakness. Let's find out what that weakness is. And Wally becomes Big Pimpin' Wally. I love this sprite. Shouts to No Constancy. It's not Buster. It's not Air. Big Boomerang isn't doing the job. It's not the vanilla weakness. Is it even on the first page? Yes, it is! Leaf Shield is the tried and true weakness for this particular alien. GG's to Bandit First, confirming the victory. And it is pretty much a clean sweep for Magnet First, going 3-0, sweeping Group D, taking out all comers, solidifying his spot in the bracket phase. GG's to MagnetFirstBro. But poisoncurls, even though he goes into this winless, still a very solid effort. He had many times where races became close. It's just that unfortunately luck was not in poisoncurls' favor. But GG's for the attempt as we say goodbye to poisoncurls for this tournament. But we always appreciate each and every participant in this Mega Man 2 Randomizer tournament and in the community as a whole. So once again, GG's to both our runners as we conclude this particular race time for today. But that is not our only race for today, as we do have another race coming up in a few hours at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight. As usual, set your time zones accordingly. Between Gaming Wild Dad and Bob X in a Group C matchup that should be coming up. I will be returning from that one, but Siberian Bull 9, who is our tournament organizer, should be joining me on comms for that one as well. So this should be one not to miss. But for further Mega Man 2 Randomizer action, we do have our next matchup after the one for later on today. Our next matchup will be on Thursday, August 24th at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight, between Bob X and Charlie Boy. Then on Friday, August 25th at 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight, we got Siberian Bull 9 and Matt Philly. And less than a week from now, Saturday, August 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight, Charlie Boy and Gaming Wild Dad will be racing then. So there is still plenty of Mega Man 2 Randomizer action to come. But of course, before we close this out, we gotta shout out our racers. So once again, shout outs to Bandit First and poisoncurls for an amazing race. Of course, if you even care about commentary, hi, I'm here. I'm apparently here doing the vocal thing. And of course, for any and all information regarding the Mega Man 2 Randomizer tournament this year. And of course, since this is a Speedgaming live event, we do have a prize pool available where you can donate and add to the prize pool. The greater the prize pool is, the greater the bonus pie is for our racers whenever the winner goes for the pot. But regardless, this has been your boy LV Creed on the ones and twos for this particular race. We will be back shortly in a few hours. So take care, everyone. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you may be in this great blue world of ours. Of course, shout outs to Speedgaming for hosting us. Shout outs to everyone that's been involved in helping out in creating the Mega Man 2 Randomizer, the community as a whole, and of course Duckfist as the original creator of the randomizer to begin with. And with that, I bid you adieu. Take care, everyone.